Big topic this week. I'm really having to stretch my own consciousness and thought process, prayer and imagination to accommodate it and encompass it to the degree that I currently can. And I love the exercise of it, and I love discussing it with my friends. Here's an interesting notion, just to start us off today. When you buy a really nice watch or a car or appliance or anything that's really expensive, do you like it when it's designed? I do. If I buy a brand new watch or a brand new camera or something, I like it when it's designed really well. And I guess I guess you could say I like it when the things that I acquire and I pay my good money for, I like it when they're intelligently designed. Uh-oh, I've put two words together that you're not allowed to put together without being accused of being a rube, a mouth-breathing, slack-jawed idiot. I put the words intelligent and design together, even though everything that when I acquire or pay good money or what I want to include in my life, I want it intelligently designed. I bet you do too. I bet when you bought that expensive car in the driveway or that big screen TV set, you really appreciate it when it's intelligently designed. You don't really like getting stuff that's unintelligently designed, that's random or chaotic or haphazard. I wonder if you get where I'm going today. Anyway, the in the current materialistic scientific paradigm, you are not allowed to put those two words together, intelligent design, because you're considered to be backsliding into the muck and mire of superstition and hocus pocus. Because in truth and in fact and in spirit, the universe is not intelligently designed. Stop thinking that. The universe, even though everything else within the universe we want to be intelligently designed, we admire it, we revere it, we demand it, but it's okay to have a universe that's mindless, stupid, meaningless, and purposeless. Just a bunch of matter and energy banging into each other, going nowhere, meaning nothing, leading to nothing. So we want to live intelligent lives. We want life on Earth to be intelligently designed. We'd love to see harmony and the parts fitting together. But what do we see in the present world? We see a good deal of random and chaos. Why is it that we want there to be an intelligently designed world that we live in when at the core of our scientific paradigm that we live in, we posit that it cannot possibly be intelligently designed? In fact, if you're a scientist nowadays and you even put those two words together and you try to put together a scientific paper speaking on that or investigating it, you're almost drummed out of the industry because you're not allowed. Now, that's really interesting because the greatest scientists, some of the greatest scientists of the 20th century, especially the early 20th century, had an entirely different view. And these were the scientists who took the materialistic paradigm that was in place at the beginning of the 20th century and essentially shattered it into the current quantum physics paradigm. Now I'm going to name a list of scientists. Hold, please. Tell me if you recognize any of these names. Do. Oops. Max Planck, Werner Heisenberg. I'm certain you know him. Erwin Schrödinger, he had a cat. Niels Bohr, he used to go on long walks with Albert Einstein. Eugene Wigner, I have a friend whose dad knew him. David Bohm, implicate explicate order. John Archibald Wheeler. Whew, what a mind. Sir James Jeans. About Alfred North Whitehead. These were some of the great geniuses of the 20th century that shattered the world of the atom when we thought the atom was the bottom line, and basically broke things open so that we now, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, quantum mechanics is the most accurate picture of reality and comes up with the best numbers of prediction. And all of those guys that I just mentioned, and you could AI it or Google it or look it up. They concluded, if you read their writings, that the universe was essentially a mind. It was essentially constructed of thought. There's a mind behind the universe. In other words, they concluded that the universe is not mindless. Two important decisions I think a human has to make nowadays. Is the universe we live in mindless, random, stupid, meaningless, just bumping into itself? Or is the universe actually a unified, conscious, intelligent, loving, intricately designing mind? Now, I'm not saying God is a 80-year-old man with a big beard up in the clouds. I think that's maybe, if you think that, more power to you. Maybe that's the case. But for me to think, is there a mind behind the universe? Is the universe actually intelligently designed as those great scientists thought? Yes, I think that's the case. And I think all of us can become great cosmic internal scientists by studying our inner world and closing our eyes and going deeply into meditation and examining the last great frontier of consciousness, which is our own internal consciousness. Yogis have been doing it for 4,000 years. And I'm glad that we are now, because this is going to lead to the greatest answers and the greatest resolutions in human history. Have a great day.